If you're a marketing team of one, or you work in a company with a small marketing team and you have a lot to do, you're wearing a lot of hats, metaphorically speaking. What if I told you that just one piece of content could literally turn into an entire campaign with the help of AI? Well, if you stick around to the end of this video, that's exactly what I'm going to share with you of how we do this in our agency and how we helped one of our inner circle members solve it with one 11-minute video. Hey, my friend, welcome back to the Mindshift podcast. If you're on a small marketing team or you're a marketing team member of one, you're in a company where maybe you've got 1 to 10, 1 to 50, maybe 100 employees, but for some reason, you're required to wear all the hats on the marketing team. It can be exhausting. To make matters worse, you have to find ways to market on Google, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on email. You got to handle the website, you got to handle the landing page, and all of the things that are necessary to really build a robust campaign. Well, we started running into this problem years ago when we had smaller companies coming to work with our agency, and we started to figure out a strategy to take one piece of video content and turn it into an entire marketing campaign. Now, that was back in 2018. Fast forward to the age of AI, and we're going to talk about a strategy today that any one of you listening to this right now can use to get leverage, but not just get leverage, because I'm sure you're already using AI, but to build a campaign that works. Let me take you to a quick story with one of our clients inside of our inner circle. And she is in a business where she has an 11-minute presentation. Now, this 11-minute presentation is what we would consider a mini webinar or a mini sales video. The video has what you would think of, which is an introduction. It identifies the problem, it identifies the pathway and the solution to how that person could get a result. Well, the thing about it is now that she has the video, now what? What is she going to be able to do? Is she going to be able to create the Instagram posts? Is she going to be able to create the clips and the videos? Is she going to be able to write the emails? And in our agency, we've solved this for our clients many, many years ago. But today with the power of AI, and specifically we're going to talk today about Claude, not necessarily ChatGPT, you're going to be able to turn that one piece of content into an entire campaign that works. What do we mean? That works, that generates leads, helps convert your customers, your prospects to customers. So let's talk about how it breaks down. The elephant in the room is you have to have some sort of video content. Now, that video content could either be just like I'm doing here, face to camera, but because I know what you're thinking, Darrell, I don't want to be in front of the video, you literally can use a PowerPoint or a Canva deck, or my favorite AI PowerPoint presentation tool today, which is called Gamma.app. I'll link that up down in the description below in case you've never used it. It makes creating presentations simple. That being said, you just have to bring your expertise or the audio tied to your slides. And by the way, if you come inside the inner circle, we can show you exactly how to write your script, plug it into Gamma.app, and end up with an entire presentation in a snap. And then you just have to record your expertise over the video slides, over the slides in the video. Now, what do you do from there? You know, a lot of people know that you can get an automatic transcript from almost every recording platform. Our favorite recording platform today is Riverside. Well, the minute you're done with the record button, it's going to give you the transcript. So whether you're recording in Zoom, or you're recording on Microsoft Teams, or recording in Google Meet, or you're recording on Riverside or Studio, any virtual studio that you're recording on, you might even be using GarageBand or something like that. Wherever you're recording, getting the transcript today is easy. Jump back 8 years ago, we paid $1.25 per minute. That's just 7-8 years ago. So today, the transcript is a no-brainer. The key lies in what you do next. So what I want to share with you is a project feature that Canva has that we absolutely love. So when you go into Canva or ChatGPT, I'm assuming Gemini can do it as well, but Claude for us tends to be the best for written content. And so the series of steps that I'm gonna have you walk through right now are going to help you in Claude. I'm not going to say ChatGPT can't do it because I know it can, and I believe Gemini can do it as well. But what we found is that Claude seems to be better at analyzing your voice, analyzing your writing style, analyzing your buyer persona better, and putting it all together if you need to build a campaign. So when I say campaign, what are we talking about? Well, we're going to start with a video. Well, obviously what we're going to need is we're going to need a landing page. Obviously what we're going to need is a thank you page. We're going to need emails. We're probably going to need social media clips and posts. We're probably going to need ads. We're probably going to need calls to action. Okay, general basic campaign. What you're going to find though is that your 11-minute video is going to give you the seed of almost everything you need. And here's why. Most high-performing marketing campaigns follow a very simple and repeatable formula that we just rinse and repeat. And one of the most popular is problem, agitate, solve. Problem, agitate, solve is a long-standing copywriting framework that works with human behavior such that we identify a problem that someone has, we agitate that problem, meaning we sort of we agitate it by saying, why would you want to stay stuck when we have a solution? And then you paint the picture to the solution. Well, almost every great webinar, almost every great presentation is going to touch on the problem. It's going to make the person a bit uncomfortable for staying in the problem and invite them to take the path to the solution. Now, there's variations of how you can do it, but that's the simple way to think about it. Well, once you've done that in your video presentation, you now have the seed for everything you need on your landing page, your thank you page, your email opt-in, your calls to action, as well as your ads and your social media posts. So the first step that I would have you do is take your transcript, and before you start uploading it to Claude and asking it to create work, what I would have you do is start a new project. Step one, start a new project in Claude. Now you do have to be, I believe, on the paid plan of Claude or GPT to do this, but you're going to want to start a project. Here's the beauty of starting a project. You can isolate all of the work that you're going to do in this one project rather than have it jumping through various chats. Okay, so once you start your project, you're going to go in and give it some instructions. Tell Claude exactly what we're going to be accomplishing in this project. So that's easy. Number two, you're going to upload any resource information you have about your buyer persona. That's important because once you upload your buyer persona information, you're going to now have Claude understand who is on the other side of the presentation. You would have already done this work. You know their demographics, you know their psychographics, you know what's keeping them up at night. If you're in our inner circle, you've done your 11 o'clock exercise. You understand that the drivers and the triggering events that are going to happen in your buyer's life. And those go into the knowledge bank inside of that project. What I also recommend, and we told our client to do, is to then add any prior marketing materials that were successful so that they understand what your output style looks like. You know, everybody has a brand guide or a brand voice guide, and you speak a certain kind of way. You're going to want to upload any of those things that talk about who you are as an entrepreneur, who you are as a marketer, what your brand's message is. We call it your brand's POV or point of view. If you've got those documents, you're going to want to upload those as well into the project database. So once you're done giving Claude the backstory, which is critical because a lot of you are jumping around in AI and you're getting very generic output. What we say in our agency is that you want to go human, AI, human, not your idea, AI, and output, because you're going to get general stuff. You're going to be averaged down to the basic information it's crawled on the internet or trained on the internet. And you need to add your specific sauce to this project. Okay, step two, once you've uploaded your project information, step two, of course, you're going to upload the transcript. But here's where a lot of people go wrong. The first thing you do after you upload the transcript is you ask Claude to check the transcript out and see if it understands what we were talking about in the video or in the transcript. Okay, so you're going to start with getting understanding and make sure Claude understands what's contained, right? And don't give it any information. Just say, I'm uploading this transcript from the video presentation and it was titled X, Y, or Z. Tell me about the presentation, and let Claude assess the transcript before you get started, okay? Step three. Step three is to then give Claude the very specific instructions about what you're going to do in the entire set of chats to come, okay? You're foreshadowing what we're going to step through. You might say, Darrell, well, why do we have to do that when we just told the project instructions that that's what we're going to do? Because we're getting in alignment for doing the work. You know, when you hire an employee or you have someone on your team, oftentimes you have to give them the assignment, then you have to ask them for clarity to help them perform at their best. No different here. Okay, so now we're telling Chat or Claude what we are going to be doing. We're going to build a campaign on the back of this 11-minute transcript, and I'm going to need this. I'm going to need a landing page. I'm going to need a thank you page. I'm going to need an email. I'm going to need an email series, whatever it is that you need for your marketing campaign. And then here's the key. Tell it, do not write yet. Okay, don't let it write because it thinks it has enough information to go do that ahead of time. Okay. That's the thing that most people do is they just give it the input and all of a sudden they end up with all of this average output. And let me be clear. If you think your customers don't know when you've used AI, they do. Don't fool yourself. Everyone is getting clear of what AI writing looks like. You've got to make sure it sounds like you, looks like you, smells like you, rolls like you, flows like you. And that's where the next step comes in. The next step is to have Claude analyze your speaking voice, your literary style, and your tone and flow. And it's a really simple prompt that I will include in the description below that simply says something like this. Before we start any writing, in addition to the reference material I've provided, I want you to analyze the speaking tone, literary style, words that I use, enunciations, all of those things. You want to understand who it is that spoke in this video and then analyze that and send that back. You are going to be surprised at how Claude analyzes your voice. You might think you speak this way or that way. Maybe in previous writing, you don't speak the way you spoke in this particular video, and you want this campaign to speak just like you. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, now we can go into our first category of what we're doing in our campaign. And I don't care what order you do this in, but I will tell you this. The most important two components of your landing page or of your advertisement or of your social media post is the first 1 to 2 lines or the headline and subheadline. So it's always my recommendation that you get crystal clear on identifying opening headlines and subheadlines or subject lines of your email campaign. Okay, so now you're going to go through, I'm not going to make this an AI prompting class. This is not an AI prompting class. This is, now you can start the conversation to start ideating the problem, agitate, solve framework against this one specific transcript. And then you're just going to work through each piece one at a time. What a lot of you are doing is you're asking Claude or ChatGPT that once it gets that basic level of information to write it all at one time. That is the wrong thing to do because you're asking it to do 14 things at one time. Guess what? If you asked your employee to do 14 things at one time, they're going to fail too. So treat Claude with respect and go one step at a time. Here's why. When you go one step at a time, hey, what I want to do now is I want to write the landing page for I want to write the headline and subheadline for the top of my landing page. The headline and subheadline will be seen by 100% of everyone who lands on the page. It's about the only part of the page that 100% of every visitor will see. By the way, if you didn't know that, that's how important your headline and subheadline are. If you didn't know that 100% of the people will probably see the 1 to 2 sentences in your social media post or in your social media ad, you need to know that. About 100% will see that. So many of you are worried about writing this long copy on your long landing page or these long emails, and the vast majority of people just won't see it. We've got an agency, we've got history of watching heat maps on digital pages, and the vast majority of people don't go past the top 1/3 of the page. So your job is to focus at the very beginning. So step by step by step. That way you can give feedback. That way you can ask for correction. That way you can ask for different alternatives. Okay, that's how you work smarter, not harder with AI, all from just one piece of content. So some of you might be saying, well, Darrell, I don't have a webinar or I don't want to shoot the video. Well, here's the easiest hack I've ever found for getting video content. And let me be clear, If you believe in the know, like, and trust factor, and that most people say that people buy from them because they know, like, and trust them, well, if you want to build a know, like, and trust factor faster, then you should be doing video. So here's a hack for you to wrap this video up in case you're still hesitant to shoot video. Write down the top 5 to 10 questions that your ideal prospect are going to ask you during the sales process, and have a friend of yours ask you the question while you're just answering them on a Zoom call. Put those questions together, take yourself out of it, and all of a sudden you have a very simple video. So there you have it. That is the way we think about breaking down campaigns and using AI to help. And it all starts with your expertise shared on video or audio or both, which can then become a transcript. That transcript then becomes the seed material for the basis of your campaign. And you then go to your partner, friend, and confidant in Claude and set up a project. Give it the instructions, give it the backstory, give it the buyer persona information, give it your previous writings or content, and then tell it, here's what we're going to do. From there, you're going to give it the transcript, have it analyze your voice, and then you'll be off to your races. And guess what? When we've helped companies do this, whether they have a small marketing team or we even do it with our larger company clients, it is amplifying the amount of efficiency and not just the amount of output. We're looking for efficiency. And here's what's really interesting is a lot of people are very subjective about their own voice. They're very subjective about what should or shouldn't be on the page. But the reality is, if people know, like, and trust you and buy from you, then it's your voice and words and tone that should show up on the page. Because if they see it over there and hear it over there, they should see it inside of your page and in all of your marketing assets. So listen, we talk about this every single week inside of our inner circle, inside of our agency. And if you've made it this far in the video and you'd like to continue, we talk a lot about copywriting and our unique frameworks. Today, we talked about the problem, agitate, solve. There are other ones that we use, 3 or 4 others. We call it before, after bridge. We use the ADA model. We use the P5 model. We have all sorts of models depending on the type of business you're in. And we do a live event every single month for our community and 2 additional live events and training and Q&As for our inner circle. If you are interested in joining our inner circle or being a part of our agency and having us help you one-on-one, there are going to be some links below. Choose the path that makes the most sense with you. And if not, I'll see you back next week on another video to help you shift your mind so you can shift your results. I'll talk to you later. Peace.